You guys ready?
Cool. Go for it, Tiki.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so this is Mega Man X2. Right off the bat, these guys are going to start with dash, so they're just going to cruise through the stage. Some impressive platforming along the way.
Yeah, this game gets you into the action super quick. Gives you dash right off the bat. Basically kills off Green Bike the Dude. May he rest in peace. And we saw Caleb get grabbed by a claw. Sometimes that's actually really hard to get over. Sometimes you actually can't get it. You can't possibly get over it.
All right, so for CF0 here, the boss of the intro stage, you're going to see these guys kind of dashing around, kind of keeping their distance from him. It might look a bit weird, but what they're actually doing is leveraging the travel time of every dash shot here to get basically a head start on their charge shot right after. And this allows them to maximize DPS.
Yep, and this strategy is actually used across all the Mega Man X games to varying degrees.
Yep.
Yeah, we've actually named this kind of strategy the CFO after this boss because this is sort of like the original spot where everybody like learns to do it in RTA. So yeah, super short intro stage. Everybody's like pretty much out, very close to each other. So we're basically synced going into wire spawn. Here's some love for Trogdor.
Yeah, Trogdor's the favorite right now.
Jeez.
All right, so right off the bat, they collect the heart at the beginning of the stage. This stage, there's a couple RNG elements. One is the weather. It rains there all the time, but later on in the stage, there's a couple spots where it can rain or it can be sunny. Rain slows you down, and sun lags the game. But sun is overall better. Looks like everybody's sort of getting different combinations of weather.
Fatso pulling through the end of the stage first. So
All right, here comes Sponge.
Yeah.
This is the
best boss in the game.
Yeah, this is a big luck factor. So they're going to deal 22 shots to Sponge and hope that somewhere around that point he's going to climb to the ceiling. If he does so, then they'll be able to finish him off quickly. Otherwise, we're just going to force him to be mad. And then they'll have to wait out 9 seconds while he's invulnerable.
Ooh, Fatso getting an absolutely typical Sponge fight so far. Typical Sponge pattern, typical fight.
Fatso takes the lead with a really sick pattern.
All right.
It looks like Tokyo... It looks like Tokyo, Caleb, both got bad patterns. Trogdor now in second.
Yeah, he actually had very little room to work with there.
Yeah, that was really rough.
Yeah. Still better than having to make Sponge mad, though. So you see the RNG separation here. This is one of the spots. This is a huge reset point in RTA attempts. And you sort of see why, because it creates like a giant amount of separation. The other big separation point is the centipede fight, which is going to come up probably in 5-6 minutes. So going into Gator stage, this stage has a lot of very interesting movement now that we've got the strike chain. The strike chain acts as a grappling hook. We can see Fatso using that to his advantage to get up to the capsule.
Let's see if Tokyo uses it here to do an interesting trick.
Ooh.
Oh, and he got it.
Yeah.
The clippy clip. That's a marathon special. I haven't seen Tokyo do that before. All right, Fatso attempting to glitch out the shot demonstration a little bit.
All right, guys, avoid those GDQ spikes.
All right, Fatso through the GDQ spikes, no problem. Trogdor
taking it slow,
taking it safe. An unnamed those are called the GDQ spikes because a certain unnamed person died on those spikes during a GDQ.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate.
Quite unfortunate. Everybody's through the GDQ spikes though, so. Ooh, Caleb missing the heart grab a little, but that's not a huge deal. All he has to do is recharge. All right, everybody. So.
Yeah. There's a very hard fight coming up, but I just got word that today is a very special day for our good pal Tokyo90 here.
Yeah, I heard that it might even be his birthday?
What? That's kind of weird.
Okay, so since it's Tokyo's birthday and since this is a hard fight,
So sing
everybody,
for him.
yeah,
Let's sing for him.
everybody, you know what to do. All right, join in.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Tokyo. Happy birthday to Tokyo. Happy birthday,
Please follow and subscribe. He has Twitch affiliate, by the way.
All right, so Caleb and Fatso got through, you know, the song helped them out. Didn't seem to help Tokyo too much, but he's gotten through the fight, and Trogdor just finishing as well.
Yeah, so when you hit Gator there with Strike Chain, he's programmed to just dive into the water, but 5 frames before he does so, like, between his iframes wearing off and him diving into the water where his hitbox disappears, there's a 5-frame window in which you can hit him again, and this allows you to stun lock him. But it's very tricky because Strike Chain itself is a projectile, so depending on your distance from Gator, that 5-frame window effectively changes.
Yeah, and it's a pretty big time loss if you lose the stun lock, because he dives down and you have to wait for him to come back up, which can take a very long time.
Don't worry though, our birthday boy and Trogdor are still very much in this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, like I've mentioned before, Centipede which is the stage after this, is a big RNG separator. So any combination of good luck from some players, bad luck from other players could even it out. Or of course, execution, but that goes without saying. So Fatso struggling a little bit on the pillars there. Generally speaking, this is a very tough stage movement-wise because there's a lot of vertical climbing. Fatso getting through, still in first place. Everybody's got very slightly different strategies for tackling the vertical climbs in this stage. So this boss fight is actually pretty interesting to do. You climb up and follow Stag with dash lemons, basically. And again, like Mega Man X1, dash lemons do double the damage. Fatso having a very good fight. So with this fight, you want him to do fireballs because his invincibility frames are shorter when he does them.
And Trogdor is doing a slightly easier method of the fight, where you don't really climb with him, you just stay at the bottom and keep damaging him with dash lemons.
Yeah, and this fight is a little bit more RNG volatile, but it's a perfectly valid way to do it.
And it can actually be really quick if you get the right RNG. It can actually be really fast if you get the right RNG.
Yeah, I mean,
you get fireballs.
It's more RNG volatile, so if you get good RNG, you get really good. I mean, it helps a lot, and if you get bad RNG, it hurts a lot.
Yeah. I don't think we've mentioned this yet, but they're collecting every upgrade to get the Shoryuken later to expedite all the refights at the end.
Yeah, so even though this is a big time investment early on, Fatso having a readjust there. And that part can be extremely scary because those blocks, if they crush you, then they kill you. There's basically no zipping out unless you do something very specific, which you'll see towards the end of the stage. So Chop Register, which is the 3D sword, can be taken out in one shot with a strike chain. Sometimes it's hard to time though. The timing is a little bit tricky. But usually if you miss it, you just have to shoot him again with the strike chain. Ooh. So Fatso is coming up on the Centipede fight, so the idea is that you want him to immediately tailspin, and that's the ideal pattern, because you can slide down the wall and glitch it out so that the tail spins infinitely, and you can just buster him to death. Ooh, Fatso gets it.
Oh, man.
Always lucky, man.
Always lucky.
Always lucky. Did you guys just see that X1 run he did?
Yeah.
Insane.
Typical.
Blaster only master.
Blaster only master.
It's really important, too, that Fatso got that, because that could have brought him all the way back even with the other players.
Yeah. So Caleb got shurikens, and because he shot him, this caused him to teleport immediately. All right, Tokyo gets tailspin.
Not immediately, but...
Yeah.
You can see on Caleb's screen, he's actually not even getting the worst RNG, but it's definitely slower than the other two patterns.
Yeah, sucks are not bad.
And Trogdor also getting a very quick tailspin. So Fatso, who was in the lead, got the best luck, and has therefore pulled further ahead. But it looks like the other players have sort of evened out. But still, this is anybody's game because there's so much in this game, especially towards the end, that can just ruin runs.
Yeah, anything can happen in the last 5 or so minutes.
It's really a test of nerves to be able to execute, like for example, Shoryukens under pressure. And there's also a couple of strategies in the end game. Ooh. So Crystal Snail stage is it's a really fun speed stage in my opinion, because there's a lot of very tight movement and a lot of usage of the speed burner and the strike chain. I guess we haven't talked about the speed burner and the strike chain in general, but so in X2, one of the things that makes it a really amazing speed game is that two of the weapons, speed burner and strike chain, actually increase your movement speed. So budgeting and routing the use of those weapons out is really fun. And it makes for really slick looking levels like Crystal Snail.
Yeah, and this stage in particular, like you said, has a lot of that, and there's a lot of weapon swapping, so it's more fun. There's more that you're doing as a speedrunner.
This boss fight is kind of fun. It's actually pretty straightforward to do, but essentially Fatso gets a very good fight there. Essentially, you want to deal enough damage to him so that you can get him with one very slow-moving charged Magnum Mine, which you can control with the D-pad.
Looks like Tokyo's going to have to kick the shell around here. Gets him fine. And it looks like Trogdor has the charged magnet going.
Very nice execution. Okay, so in Overdrive Ostrich's stage, the majority of it is spent on this bike that Fatso just got on, and this can be very scary because you have a very small window to turn the bike around and still pick up the heart, which is located on top of spikes. So if you turn around too late, then you're going to crash the bike. And if you turn around too early...
Some Austin Powers here. All right.
Yeah, it's also important to note that they really don't want to lose any health while going into this because there's a health drop right there that completely changes the timing should you take damage before you go to the heart collection location.
You are moving so fast on this bike that having the game completely slow down for a few frames just
it's really
completely
tough.
wrecks the difficulty of this.
All right, 3 players through the tricky hard grab. It's actually not a horrible death to take. Trogdor gets it as well.
Yeah, there's a checkpoint just before that, so.
Yeah, and so there's a checkpoint just before that, and if you crash the bike, then of course you collected the heart, so you don't have to redo that. So it's actually only like a 12 or 13 second death, but it's still very scary. Fatso is abusing the invincibility frames of Overdrive Ostrich. Does it very well.
Yep, so at the top of Overdrive Ostrich's jump, he actually resets his iframes. So they're hitting him with a dash limit, followed by the Crystal Snail Weapon.
Crystal Hunter.
Crystal Hunter, yep.
Yeah, this is a really cool fight, and it's super convenient that Buster and Crystal Hunter are only one swap apart. If there were any more than that, then this would probably not be feasible RTA.
Good fight from Trogdor as well.
All right, grab stage. There is so much tricky movement here.
Bubbly Carlos, man.
Grablos.
Crablos. Okay, so Fatso is going to attempt to essentially glitch through the laser there. The wall jumps that he did on the left side were actually very, very tricky, and he executed them very well. This one coming up is pretty tough too. All right, he gets the E-Tank no problem. What he did there was he used the slope jump mechanic, which is, I mean, if you're walking down a slope, not dashing, and you jump, then you're going to jump a lot higher, especially underwater, than if you were to jump normally. And I guess that's some sort of glitch.
It's just like some speed mechanic slopes where you move faster.
Right.
So that's also magnified by being underwater.
Yep, and the same glitch exists in the next one as well.
All right, so Fatso coming up on the crab fight here. All right, this can be, it's generally a straightforward fight, but there's some patterns that just make it an absolute pain because the the crystal wheel, or the wheel is just a very awkward weapon to use. All right, let's see if Tokyo never gets bubbles. Ever. I haven't seen it one time. All right. You see him. All right. When Crab is like in the middle of the stage like this, it becomes very awkward to use Wheelgator's weapon. All right, all of them are through Crab, meaning they're moving on to Morphmoth, who is the last of the 8 Mavericks in this route. This stage is fairly straightforward execution-wise, but there's some very strange RNG elements in it, dealing with lag. Sometimes the stage just kind of lags in very random spots, and sometimes it just doesn't. So there's that. And then there are also 2 mini-bosses who can either drop immediately after you kill them, or they can like sort of live beyond the grave and like slam down on you, which wastes about 1.5 seconds. All right, I'm gonna do the manipulation for Fatso here. Gustavo.
Didn't work.
Didn't work.
Legend has it that if you say Gustavo when entering a junk robot, the guy stands still.
Yeah, it's more than a legend, it's a fact. But yeah, other than that, pretty straightforward stage execution-wise.
Caleb got it. He got the Gustavo, dude.
Oh man, he must have said it in his head. I heard Fatso say it.
He was really loud about it too.
Yeah. It doesn't matter, he's still in the lead. Alright, Fatso coming up on the Morph Mob fight. This fight is actually pretty technical. There's 2 stages of it. One is the Larva stage. And you want to hit him with 3 charge burners and an uncharged burner. So that's 1 charge burner. Bit of a CFO kind of deal there. Alright, good first phase for Fatso.
Really nice fight.
Good fight.
I'm thinking Fatso should sandbag a bit now. Maybe to do some blaster only.
Yeah.
A few stages.
More like Colonel Fasto, am I right?
I don't get it.
You want me to explain it to you? I can explain it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll like send you an email later.
All right.
All right, so all 4 players are going to be coming up on the Counter Hunter stages very shortly. Counter Hunter 1, when it goes right, it looks super smooth, and it's just a great speed stage to watch. And it's pretty fun to execute, but it's very hard to practice because there's so much movement. It like actually tires out your hands. So this is a bit of a break from the sort of onslaught that's gonna come from Counter Hunter 2 and Counter Hunter 3 and Counter Hunter 4.
And 5.
And 5. 5 is really, I mean, it's an execution stage, but it's more a test of nerves, really.
Just that final gauntlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, this stage just has so many wall kicks while changing weapons and also holding a charge. So your thumb is put to the test here.
Yeah, Fatso getting through pretty well. Ooh, Trogdor not doing the mystery kick, man.
Alright, so Violin can either like jump up, he can stay invulnerable while moving blocks around, or he can swing his gigantic spiky ball all around. You typically want him to just jump. The spiky ball is generally super laggy, and of course you don't want him to be invulnerable. And this fight overall is very uneventful. You just stand next to him and charge the bubble.
Yeah, it's definitely sort of a lull in the execution of the run. So coming up, we've got Counter Hunter 2. The stage has got one trick that can be very scary, but it actually isn't very difficult for top-level runners. We'll see if Fatso gets it. He wants to catch the elevator near the end of the stage before it leaves. So, all right,
It's not over yet.
It's not over.
It's not over yet, technically.
Yeah. And it's really important to get this because if you
All
don't,
right,
you
all
lose
right.
a lot of time.
Now it's over. Okay.
Now it's over. Yeah, there's a little bit of flub at the end there, but
Yeah.
nothing major. He got through the important part. Caleb gets through it as well, gets the important part as well. Tokyo.
Looks like Tokyo's going to make it as well. Yep.
All right, so. Ooh. Okay, so this fight is pretty complicated. Sergey's gets stuck in between like positions 2 and 4 or positions 1 and 3. And positions 1 and 3 are more advantageous in terms of getting double hits very quickly. The double hit, getting a double hit with a Sonic Slicer is quite difficult. You have to stand in a very specific spot and release in a very specific spot while jumping.
Yeah, it's fairly precise for both the X and Y coordinates.
I wasn't able to catch the fights of Tokyo or Caleb. All right, very solid fights for everybody.
It looks like everyone had a good fight and everyone got elevator skip, which is huge. I think that's a first for SGPQ.
Yeah.
After 3 4-way races.
Yeah, this is actually a really, really great race we've got going. All right, so Counter Hunter 3 is very difficult because we'll be seeing the neon jump here, which the game has essentially gotten a glitch where if you air dash and release a neon shot and jump on the same frame, ooh, then you'll do a double jump. All right, Fatso. All right, he's through top route. He did have to use the sub tank, but he's through.
Yeah, so when you release a fully charged pink shot while air dashing, X is standing for 1 frame. So if you jump on that same frame as you release the shot, then you can do a double or even triple jump.
Yeah, Tokyo actually opted to go for the bottom route, and I think that's because he missed a neon on the climb.
Yep,
I believe so, yeah.
Cogdor did as well. He missed the neon on the climb.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, so normally you're not able to get to the Shoryuken from the bottom, but with neon jumps, you can actually get the height you need to get up there.
All right, now everyone has the Shoryuken.
Oh, what is this? Okay.
All right, this is a very difficult weapon to use. It looks like a one-hit KO move. So the Shoryuken looks like a one-hit KO, but it's not technically a one-hit KO. It does damage per contact frame. And what this means is they need to set themselves up such that they get this nice clean diagonal across the bosses so that they can actually kill them in one hit. Now, what complicates that fact is they need to be at full health to actually use the Shoryuken in the first place, and it is a melee attack. So they need to get close, but not too close, and they need to not take damage in general. So
yeah, so it is actually a little bit of a disadvantage from a race standpoint that Fatso had to use his sub-tank, his only sub-tank. Oh, I see. So he's collecting a little bit of health to fill up. Because if you miss your Shoryuken and you get hit, then you're gonna need to somehow replenish your health.
Nice.
Nice Gator. Gator Shoryuken is really difficult.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing probably all 4 players take different routes. It doesn't exactly matter what order you do these bosses in. It's just sort of a gauntlet, and a lot of people just get certain ones out of the way to deal with RNG or deal with nerves or anything.
Yeah. As long as they do Stag before Crab and Centipede before Snail, then the times will come out to be the same. It's all up to them.
All right.
And Tokyo got the one-hit KO on Snail, which is extremely difficult to get.
Yeah.
It's very precise.
Yeah, you need to jump for 5 or 6 frames to get the correct subpixel to ensure that you can Shoryuken him in one hit. And you need to rely on RNG such that he doesn't go in his shell. Big day for Tokyo.
Big day. Tokyo got Icy Hot.
Icy Hot.
It's a really cool strat with a bunch of buffered inputs. Caleb getting a really good sponge pattern. So since Gator dives immediately, you can't actually reach him in time to Shoryuken right off the bat, so you do have to chain him a bit.
Tokyo getting really good birthday Gator. Oh, Fatso getting the ideal pattern on Sponge.
Nice.
Ooh, Caleb having to take a hit on Overdrive Ostrich. See, this is where things can get really out of control, but he recovers very nicely.
You absolutely do not want to be in a position where you take damage and you have no sub-tanks left with bosses remaining. Now, they can get health between every boss going back to the top of the boss rush room, but if they're fighting a boss and they have no sub-tanks and they're not at 32 health, then they have to revert to just using the weakness, which loses a ton of time.
All right, I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure who's in the lead.
Oh, Tokyo, Tokyo, Tokyo! Oh, birthday boy! Oh my god, dude.
The birthday boy with the birthday save.
It's a great example of the Shoryu not being a one-hit kill.
Yeah, there you go.
Fatso a little bit out of position for the Icy Hot strategy. All right. Great recovery, though.
Oh. All right, Tokyo has a sub-tank left.
Oh.
Yeah. So Tokyo now has to revert to either just using Dash Lemons or Slicer, Sponge's weakness.
All right, Fatso, I believe coming up on his last Maverick. Doing the safe strat, executing
Now, I believe
extremely well.
Tokyo's taken 8 damage exactly, so if he has any bosses remaining, he will be able to fill up. Hopefully Tokyo's able to fill up all the way. No, I think he's one shy.
Oh.
So he will need to use Burner for Moth as a result, which is unfortunate.
Did
All right.
Trogdor get the second Shoryu right after the first one? That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's very difficult to do. I'm actually not quite sure how it works.
I believe that's a 2-frame link.
Yeah, and you have to kind of buffer on the way down.
Yeah, it's
right.
really difficult.
So Fatso and Caleb coming in very close together. Fatso with the advantage to the last few bosses.
That's not. So he wants to get a Shoryu when he enters this room, and he missed. But there's some backups that aren't so slow. So
Yeah, there's a wide variety of backups. Curious to see which one he picks here. He could open up with a shots to cause Zero to block. He could just open up with 2 Shoryukens to close the distance.
Okay, very, very, very nice backup.
So this is a gauntlet of 3 bosses at the end, and it's really scary because there are no health pickups along the way. If they have a sub-tank, then that's good insurance, but otherwise they have nothing to go on.
Yeah, and it's important to note that both Caleb and Fatso used their sub-tank already.
They didn't pick up any spell health. Oh, okay. So Tokyo will need to farm some health here. Gets it right away.
All right, Wolverine can give a few different patterns. Wolverine Sigma.
He gets the best one. He gets the best one. Let's see if Caleb gets the best pattern as well. Oh, he's
Caleb,
flying. He's
very,
flying.
very unlucky, but that could have been a lot worse.
All right, so Fatso's coming up on the final boss. He's going to try dashing under. If he gets this, time's going to... Time.
So Caleb's in actually a really tricky spot, because if he doesn't have an E-tank, he's got to fight the rest of Wolverine this way.
Yeah, as Dom mentioned, Caleb does not have a sub-tank, so he has to use Wire on Sigma Virus, which means it looks like Trogdor is going to take second.
Assuming he gets this. Okay,
And he does.
does.
Time for Trogdor.
Time for Trogdor. It's very, very, very solid run.
It's actually interesting, because I don't know how much time this takes, but Tokyo could actually...
No, Tokyo took
No, he
damage,
took
and I
damage.
believe he has no sub-tanks, so...
But if he didn't take damage there, he could have caught up.
Potentially. It's hard to say.
pretty close.
It's really hard to say. Yeah. So Tokyo just taking the death there. It's actually faster to take that death than to fight all 3 bosses with weakness.
Yeah, definitely. Smart choice from him.
And here on Caleb's screen, you can see exactly why we went the Shoryuken. This is an incredibly laggy fight.
Yeah, and so Wireframe Sigma actually has 64 health as well, and Strike
Time
Chain,
for Caleb. All right, Tokyo gets
Tokyo's out. He got
two
the zero.
Shoryukens necessary for 0. So 0's actually so small that you can't beat him in one shot with Shoryuken. You need 2 Shoryukens. Should we sing Happy Birthday again?
I think we should, man.
The headphones are
The headphones
on.
come back
He's
on.
serious about this.
All right.
And it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. All right.
Got him.
So he got the best pattern there with the wall kick and teleport. He didn't get the Shoryuken when he landed, but that's a perfectly fine backup.
Yeah, it's actually it's a pretty tricky Shoryuken to get.
Yeah. Time.
All right.
Really nice race, guys.
Yeah, congratulations to all the runners for showing just excellent, excellent play.
And Fatso, you're an absolute monster, dude.
Yeah, totally.
You're
Oh my
insane.
God. That was nuts.
Now, if you guys love Mega Man X races, there is a hot X3 race coming up right after this one
Yeah.
with Trogdor and New.
Yeah, so Trogdor gonna stay on for a bit. Challenge New to X3.